caught up with Dave McClure of 500 Startups, one of the most high-profile investors from the Valley. He usually pulls no punches, is very candid, and he was the same in this interview. He was wondering why there's so much of skepticism and pessimism among Indian investors, whereas as far as he could see the metrics he tracks, everything seems to be healthy here, and 500 Startups is going to make at least 30 to 50 investments in 2016. Let's listen into what a very candid Dave McClure had to say about the investing environment, about the recent fund that they raised for South Asia.
I'm not sure why everyone else is so pessimistic when, if we look at the objectively available metrics, everything's kind of up and to the right. I think you have, population rising, very young population. You have smartphone penetration rising. You have payments getting easier. I think you have a lot more interest from external investors out of Japan, out of China, US and Europe. So, I'm not really sure why people have decided that there's something wrong with that type of situation. I think maybe we're seeing valuations come down a little bit, but the number of opportunities and the number of talented entrepreneurs coming out of India is it's greater than ever before. And I don't know why anybody wouldn't be optimistic.
But do you think the pessimism is more, with the late stages, with people, who've invested at huge valuations, who are just not able to put any more money? But in the early stages, the angel, the Series A, we're still seeing money coming in. So do you think there's a difference there, that the pessimism has come in at the later stages, but not so much for the startups per se?
I think there's a lot of exuberance for later stage companies, and probably the investment multiples were a lot more generous, at least for a period of time, both in the US and maybe internationally that was true. I think some of that sentiment has maybe calmed down and people have come back to, sort of normal. I don't think it's like people are depressed or pessimistic. I think it's just coming back to normal. I'd like to say we're focused on investing in a lot of great opportunities, but they have to be real opportunities.
And opportunities in which segments? And, what is the sweet spot, so to say, in terms of sectors, in terms of industries?
Well, I think there's a broad set of opportunities involving software and mobile services that we are very bullish about. A few sectors, probably financial services, fintech, education and healthcare areas we've done a lot in. Still basic e-commerce, I think people think e-commerce is a bad word. You told me not to swear on stage. When I say e-commerce, I worry people think that's profanity. But I don't think that people buying stuff online is a bad thing. I think running businesses maybe at negative margin is a bad thing, but I think marketplaces and SaaS businesses are still going to be the bread and butter as well as e-commerce.
And what would you say to venture capitalists who are, being very cautious now and suddenly talking about cash burn and unit economics after putting in so much money at crazy valuation?
I'm glad they're talking about unit economics now. They should have been doing that all the time, but I think we aren't investing more when the market's hot or less when the market's cold. I think we're investing, a similar amount every year, maybe more now because we see the market being developed for.
And are you working with some target on, how many startups you're going to look at this year? Or?
I think we did about 20 investments last year. We'll probably do at least that many this year, possibly 30 to 50, depending on how quickly we think things are moving. But it's really dependent upon finding smart people who are doing good stuff.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.